Guide our footsteps, guide our path. These mercies we ask in your name and no other name. Amen.
Amen. All right, so what's on the agenda for discussion this morning from your end?
Good morning, GQ. Good morning to the general public. I want to thank GQ for having us here for another program. There isn't anything on my agenda for today. This morning is just one of those mornings. But you are free to call in and speak on any issues, and I will try my best to give you any information, that I can. But I can speak to quite a number of things this morning. We can touch on the Bay Road again, as always. Every Saturday morning, we're still having an issue after we've been going on for
that
so
hasn't
long.
caught on as yet?
Not at this point.
Wow.
And so you find that it's not that we like to give ticket GQ, it's just that sometimes you have to let the general public know that they're not in control, and the regulations are there, the laws are there, and we must be guided. Some persons genuinely don't know. Some persons are just being ignorant to the fact that I am here already and I'm not going to change my directions. And so we're asking the general public to please be mindful that on Saturday mornings between 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. there are signs placed on the Bay Road where you can only travel from Rams to the Cenotaph. It's a one-way between 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. And that is to accommodate the persons who go to the public market for shopping. Persons used to complain and say they can't find any parking, there isn't any way for them to park. And so the High Command would have taken all of that into consideration and would have given the general public the opportunity to park on the Bay Road where no Donnelly, no Corporal Rouse, no ordinary police, no other police officer would give you a ticket between 7 and 1 on a Saturday morning. You are not allowed to park on the seaside. You're not allowed to park on the walkway. You are allowed to park right opposite of the market, just next to the market. There are yellow lines, but you are given the privilege to park from Malone Avenue all the way down to Lower Market Street. So please be guided accordingly.
What about the barricades? You remove the barricades?
We remove the barricades at 1 p.m. Sometimes, we would go a little overboard. Sometimes the officer might forget and they might stay there. Someone would come around and call and say, "Officer, what time the barricades are supposed to be?" And we would say, okay, well, it should have been moved already. And so sometimes we go a little overboard. So we just want the general public to be.
So let me get this clear. Are you saying that people are seeing the barricades and still passing?
People are seeing the barricade. And some person say, no, I'm not seeing the barricade, or it's placed wrong. How could it be placed wrong if you're coming around the barricade to get to where you want to go? If you're coming around the barricade, it means that you're driving on the wrong side of the road. Because when you in St. Kitts, you only drive on the left-hand side of the road. And you say, no, I'm not seeing the barricade. If you're not seeing the barricade, we need to pull your license from you. Because it means then that you are something is wrong with your vision.
You're not paying attention.
Yes. We're still seeing persons parking in areas where they're not supposed to park. Persons are still not observing the drop-off as a drop-off. Persons are still using the drop-off for their own personal length of time, meaning you want to go to the bank and I don't know how long I'm going to be. I might be an hour, and you want to go and you're going to spend a whole hour in a drop-off. When the drop-off is just used for you to drop off. The drop-off does not belong to anybody personally.
Right.
You, Mr. GQ, if you have a package and you want to make a drop-off, you just pull in the space, make your drop-off, you come and you go.
Right.
It's not for you to...
Instead of holding up traffic.
Right.
Okay.
Then we have the reserve areas where persons would just come and they would just park in someone reserve spot. And I would always use the permanent secretary for national security because that one is used a lot. That one is on Liverpool Road, where he's complaining every time about a person just parking in his spot. And I find that persons are being disrespectful. The reserve sign is not for you, even those on Church Street, even the ones on Victoria Road. Persons, you must be aware there is a reserve sign, even the one that we just placed here on on Keon Street on the opposite side of the cable. That one was placed here for Minister Janelle.
Mr. Powell.
Mr. Powell.
Right.
Yes. And persons would just go, too often he has to call and say, someone is in my spot. And, it says reserve. Even the doctor's areas, persons see a sign says doctor.
Well, aren't they ticketed if you're in the reserve spot?
Of course. But some persons feel like, I see a reserve and I want to pull and I'm going to pull over. And that is being disrespectful in my opinion. Then we want to speak to yellow lines. American Bakery has a promotion until December where they give buy one, get one every afternoon from 5 until 7. I think that's the timing.
Right. Something like that. But yes, go ahead. There's a promotion going on.
Right. And so persons take the opportunity to park on the yellow line on the opposite side of the bakery.
Going up?
Going up.
Right.
And so persons must be aware that there are yellow lines. It doesn't matter what time of the day, what day of the week, what hour, it does not matter. Yellow lines means no parking.
Right. It's not because the promotion is okay.
Not because the promotion is okay.
Okay.
And sometimes, and if I could say this on here, I am not here to disrespect anybody, but sometimes persons who have businesses, somebody's coming to the business, and because somebody's coming to do business with you, it's all right for them to park in an area that is obstructing the traffic. You as the business person, you want to make your money, but you have to let persons know that there are still regulation and we are still guided by laws, and so you have to be mindful. If it means that you want to go to the bakery, let's take in the bakery for example, and you want to go and buy your bread, and you recognize that the area where you want to park is already filled. Park up by the park, take a nice little cool walk and go down to the area, or if you're with someone, you drop off that person and you move along and you come back. You're going to stand in the middle of the road and you don't care what traffic is behind you. Let us take Pond Road. Pond Road is an area you're not supposed to park. There are yellow lines. Persons just don't adhere. They just want to just park on the yellow lines. They're standing talking to somebody and they don't care. And the traffic is behind all blocked up and they're not being, and I'm saying.
So if you're there, you can give them a ticket for that as well?
Of course. Yellow line means no parking. It doesn't matter. And Mr. GQ, I can tell you whether I'm in uniform or I'm in my own personal vehicle, I enforce. They're there on the books, but we just don't enforce them. And so persons have to be aware, you have to be mindful that we can't just let the country just run by, just everybody just doing as they like. We have to be mindful that you're committing. But persons just, a young lady came to the station yesterday afternoon, she was in tears. And I felt for her, but when an officer gives someone a ticket, I am not one who would just take back somebody's ticket, because I cannot give somebody a ticket, Mr. GQ, and you take it back. To me, that's disrespectful. You want to come and have a conversation and we speak about it, yes. But I always say to persons, whenever you're given a ticket, what you need to do is to speak to the officer. Ask the officer, officer, I apologize. The situation with the young lady yesterday afternoon was that she said that the child was very uncomfortable with the seat belt. And so she was easing the seat belt from the child as opposed to taking off. Just, the child said, "Mommy, I'm uncomfortable." And so the officer asked her to pull over and gave her a ticket. For me, that was... the officer didn't use the discretion. That for me could have been, but that is just not that the officer is wrong. Don't get me wrong.
Yes, I understand.
The officer is not wrong, but I'm saying sometimes we have to use our discretion more.
And I made it tough for you because even though you felt for her, he was doing his job.
Yes,
I understand.
and I can't take back the ticket.
But if it was you, you'd have done differently.
I would have done differently. And so, not that the officer is wrong, but sometimes we have to use our discretion. Sometimes we feel as officers that we are indispensable and we're not supposed to. But I'm saying that today for me, tomorrow for you, we have to be careful with the people, and so we have to be mindful. And
I'm glad you said that.
Yes, and for me, when it comes to ticketing, things are tough right now, but that does not give someone the opportunity to disrespect the police officer, because some of them are so disrespectful. The officer speak to them and you operate a particular way. And so I'm saying...
The body language says...
Yes, and sometimes even the way they speak. And so... we are saying to you, the general public, keep yourself out of ticket way. Be mindful, there are other parking areas that you can use. Some persons might say it is too far for me to walk, but a lot of us would have traveled the United States and all over the country, all over the, and we would have seen and recognized how things work. You have to walk sometimes five blocks to get to where you want to go,
Yes.
and it's not an issue.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
We have to, when it's convenient for us, we want to talk about America when it's convenient. But sometimes we don't want to talk about it.
Right.
I want to speak to Wellington Road as well.
Okay.
Wellington Road, right by the Chinese, persons just park. Yellow line means no parking
In
at
front
any...
of the Seventh-day Adventists. We're not Seventh-day. What church is that?
Seventh-day Adventists.
Okay.
Yes. Persons, please be mindful. Save yourself $100. Save yourself $150. Find a suitable parking space. You see a yellow line, do not park. Unless you're given permission by an officer to park for a particular reason. Even if it is a Sunday and you're going to church. Do not say, oh, I went to church and watched them. They're so devilish, they give me a ticket. But you committed an offense. You committed an offense. Lozak Road.
So I didn't mean to laugh.
No, that's okay. That's fine.
But it's the reality.
Yes.
It's the reality.
Lozak Road. Lozak Road is a no parking area on the side closest to the park. The signs are there, Mr. GQ.
Yeah.
No parking.
Yeah. That's on the left side if you're going, and the
It's
right
a
side.
one-way.
Right.
Right. And I would say police officers, they are... They
What?
do it like it's correct. Police officers, they're not above the law. We are not above the law.
So they're parking their personal vehicles, yeah.
Police vehicle as well.
Wow.
And I'm saying we have to show an example to the general public, because when I get on the radio station, I was on Win FM last Monday, and we were speaking about the same Lozak Road, and you know what someone called in and said, go across Lozak Road now, and you saw the police officers have a cross here blocked up, park, and I'm saying I feel away because I feel like I'm on the radio speaking about it, and here it is that the officers are making me look bad. You understand? And so I'm appealing. If here's where it takes for me to appeal to the police officers to let them know that you are no different to Mr. Gilbert or to UGQ or to anyone else who want to park.
Right.
It's a no parking area for and the commissioner of police, and I can say this on here, he's totally not in agreement with anybody parking there. So you can get a ticket from me and then go to the commission and expect to get it taken back. It's not going to happen.
Okay. So he supported it.
He's supporting the fact that you're not supposed to park there.
Yes.
And so I am telling persons, it does not matter if you're just going to, because some persons say, oh, Donnelly only going to park there for me to spend the whole day. Please be mindful and be respectful of the yellow lines, no parking areas, the reserve sign, the doctor signs, and so that we have right now, Mr. Gilbert is in the studio with us, and I would know that Mr. Gilbert is no stranger to the radio programs, and I would give Mr. Gilbert a chance to speak, because I would believe he wants to speak to the road work that's going on, and that is very important. And so at this time, I will hand over the mic to Mr. Gilbert.
Thank you very much, my colleague, my esteemed colleague. Good morning. To
Good
you.
morning.
A special good morning to you.
Thank you.
GQ, good morning.
Good morning.
And to my radio listeners, a
Morning,
pleasant
teacher.
good morning.
Teacher.
Good morning. You make me feel old. Good morning to all in radio land and TV land too, and internet land. A pleasant good morning to you. Today is Wednesday. It's a midweek. Road work continues on the Wellington Road and Keon Street. Water Department is working from the Wellington Road, from the airport end, coming into Bastille, and Surrey Paving, the main contractor, is working from, let's say, the hospital end, coming into Bastille. As a result of that, it means that there's a lot of bottleneck in that corridor there. So I am urging motorists, I am requesting of motorists, if you don't have to use that corridor there, Keon Street, use the bypass road, F.T. Williams Highway, or the Bay Road to get around town if you have to.
Okay.
So, and if you have to use those corridors there, the traffic will be going slowly and also there will be some diversion. You have to go up to come around, etc. So please be mindful of this. In addition to that, the contractors are complaining that the motorists are speeding in that corridor. Although it is Bastille, they are still speeding. So I am taking this opportunity to impress upon the motorists and the motoring public to actually exercise caution. Now remember, it is a live construction site, and I keep defining a live construction site. Normally when you have a construction site, you hold it off, you prevent, intruders from entering. But with the road work, what we are doing, it is a construction site, but it is actually, we are actually allowing you to pass to and
You're
fro.
making a compromise.
Yes, we are making a compromise. We are all compromising. So we ask you to be patient with us and to actually drive slowly in those areas. In addition to that, we have what is known as condition survey going on too. What is the if we see cracks, we will actually take note of them, where they are located and the length, etc., etc. We bring it to your attention too. And after the road work, and we will make a decision whether the cracks are severe. We might not use the roller. We might not vibrate in that area there.
Right.
We might
Based
skip
on the
that
assessment.
area. Based on the assessment.
Right.
We might skip that and make a determination. We come back and look at it and make a determination. But the problem we are having is that some people are saying, you cannot come on my property to do that.
You're not getting cooperation.
Not cooperating. But after the fact, they're coming and saying, I have cracks in my house, and you could come in now to look at it. I mean, where is the compromise? I can say that.
So I don't mean to laugh. I don't mean to
know,
laugh.
that's fine with me. That's fine with me. I can say that the crack was there before the work started.
So it's your word against their word.
Thank you. So we get nowhere with that. So I am asking you, the public, to cooperate with us. I can't plead more than this to plead with us. Okay?
I thought that issue was already addressed, though. Last time you were here, I think
but
2 weeks ago.
We are still having some challenges. So I am urging the residents and the business places to give some cooperation. That's
So when
all
they see you guys coming around, instead of fighting you, saying, look, let's avoid what could happen so we won't have my word against your word.
Thank you.
So you show me what's going on here, and we come to a conclusion, and then we go from there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You couldn't say it better. That's why you were my student.
Salute. One question for me, though. What's the timeline on the work from between the hospital into town?
We are looking at 6 weeks, about 6 weeks. But we need the cooperation of all the stakeholders. Okay. Now we have the businesses which lie along that corridor there. We actually draft a letter at Public Works, which we are in the process of giving out. We are telling you that we apologize for the inconvenience, number one. Number two, there will be inconveniences. And if you have, we have some telephone numbers and names on that in that letter to tell you if you have a problem, call the individual for the various things. So for example, if there is water leaking in the area where you are, you don't have to call Mr. Gilbert number. You can call, they have water department, and the numbers, you can call somebody from water department.
So each department is responsible for their designated area?
Yes, well, not really department. Each stakeholder is responsible for their activity. For example, if you see something like maybe a cable line which maybe seem damaged or whatever, then you can call the cable number is there. Flow number is there. Electricity number is there.
Okay.
Public work numbers are there also. So you can have somebody you can call and get some quick response.
Okay. Opposed to this going on and nobody coming saying
Yes, or calling me and then I'm on ZIZ and I didn't get around to call back and and when I get out of here, there's so many calls after I leave the radio station that, that just get rest on the bottom of the table or the day.
Yes.
So then you can call these individuals to get some quick response. So I must say to those residents and business places in that corridor that we apologize for the inconvenience, but we are trying to develop. And at the same time, the cable wants to develop their infrastructure.
Right. So they're taking the opportunity
to do the opportunity at this time. So we have the cable, we have electricity, we have flow, we have water department, And we have another contractor coming behind doing sidewalks coming down. We have the main contractor doing the activity, the main activity, which is the road work. So we have about 6 contractors working in that corridor there. So there's a number of activities going on at the same time. So as I said again, I apologize for the inconvenience. And if you give us the opportunity and allow us a free movement by using other routes, we'll be able to speed up the process and then get out of there for Christmas so that you can have your roadway to be free.
Right. Timeline issue again. The airport side now, coming into town, the work going on the road there. What's the timeline for
I
that?
think we want to make everything about 6 weeks.
Oh, everything? Everything
Yes,
6
everything
weeks?
about 6 weeks.
Oh,
we want
okay.
to crash it.
Okay, I thought it was like phase,
No,
different
we want to
phase.
crash it and make everything about 6 weeks.
Okay, sounds good.
But we want the cooperation of all parties. And as I will say here on the radio, that one of the things which Flo would say to us, that all Skelec would say to us, do not dig the ground unless somebody from our department is here. So it means that if somebody from Flo is not there today, we can't touch the ground.
Right.
Because the cable are very sensitive, fiber optic.
Right.
And they can actually throw out maybe the whole of Bastille
Right,
portion.
right.
And Skelec would say the same thing to do not touch the ground unless we have a personnel on site.
Right.
So if Skelec don't send somebody or the person turns up late, it means that you are also delayed. So I'm using this medium to encourage the parties and all concerned to let's cooperate, let's work together and get this project over with, especially in this corridor, as quickly as possible. Okay, some time ago when I was here, recently, a caller called in and spoke about some speed bumps over at Frigate Bay.
Yes.
He said that some were removed and the pegs were in the road.
The spikes.
Well, the spikes were in the roadway. We actually dealt with that. The spikes were pumped down into the ground, so they are no longer a threat to your tire. And also, what happened is that a private entity put those in. So they are not the same like what we have in public work. So we can't replace those threads which are gone. Like for down at Dickerson Street by Adventist School,
Right.
there were some there. Public work put those in. And you know that when you're going up, you just walk on more or less 2.
Right.
When you're coming on, you walk on another 2.
Right.
So those were worn out.
Right.
We actually changed them, put in new ones there.
Okay.
So then we don't have the replacement for those at Frigate Bay. Those at Frigate Bay are much higher, so we don't have the replacement.
So
for those.
you're saying the private entity is going to replace those?
I don't know who actually put them in place, but I'm using this radio station again to ask the private entity if they have space to actually replace them, and so that it can be back in full use.
I'm kind of puzzled.
Yeah,
so
me
how
too.
could persons put down speed bumps and you don't know? Because I don't think that the licensing authority knows about them either, because we're thinking it's public works.
No, it wasn't public work put them in.
Well, that's a question that needs to be answered.
Yeah.
Because the road doesn't belong to them, eh?
That is true.
Yeah.
That is
The
true.
road doesn't
That
belong
is
to
true.
them.
That
So
is
we need to get in that, because from what I'm gathering from the last caller, either you or the licensing authority can go and just replace that and put on the proper size, because
That's right.
the issue that he brought up was not only the spikes, but the bumps was too high as well.
Yeah, the height.
Right. So I was saying that you guys would go over and just replace everything and just put down the appropriate size.
What we did, we actually pumped the spikes down in the meanwhile. But if the person who put them down, they have the more of the space, they can actually put them in.
But that's the issue. But the space is going to be the same height
Same
again.
height, the same
yeah,
height.
yeah. Which is what the public is complaining about.
Okay,
And they're supposed to be a standard size for speed bumps.
should have been, but this one is higher.
And because some persons' vehicles are very low, and it's caused some damage to person's vehicle. And I would say now here and here that persons are not supposed to get into the habit of just placing instruments, objects, or whatever you want to call it in the street unless you're being informed by Public Works, who would then speak to Traffic Department, because the licensing authority is fully responsible for
Right.
anything when it comes to road works.
Right.
We have a Public Works Department, yes, but the licensing authority, the Commissioner of Police, who is the licensing authority, is responsible. And so you don't just put down just because you feel like, for example, someone wants to make a parking space and they don't want a vehicle to park. they would put a gas tank,
Okay.
or they would put a
Yeah,
table.
yeah.
You
So you say that's not right.
No, that's not right.
Okay.
And so what we would do on a norm is, if we go out and we see these things happening, you just take them and you put them in the vehicle, and you move along with them. Somebody come and they complain and they say, oh, you took up my gas tank, and I said yes, and you make a fuss, and I take it for the magistrate court because it's an offence.
Okay.
You know, and so placing the speed bumps without informing anybody, I find that is very disrespectful.
Lady and gent, we got to take a break.
Yes.
All right. I know you say you want to hear from our listeners as well. So after the break, we'll take your calls. We do apologize for the unusual format this morning, but as you can tell, it was information sharing, and that's the meat of the program, in my opinion, getting the information out to the public. We'll be back to take your calls after our 9 o'clock report, so please do stay tuned. And speaking about our 9 o'clock report, it's coming to your.
We are all in this together.
And we all have a part to play to keep our island COVID-free.
Play your part and stay safe and healthy.
Our borders will soon be
to ensure the safety of our guests and ourselves. Outfit your vehicle with appropriate dividers to separate driver from passenger. Plexiglass or Velcro.
It is important that the hands of the passengers are sanitized before entering the vehicle. Remember, a mask must always be worn by all occupants of the vehicle for the duration of the trip. At the end of the trip, remember to wish your passengers a good day. Ensure they have left no personal items behind and sanitize their hands.
Once you have completed your trip, remember to sanitize your hands and your vehicle. Seats must be disinfected and all high-touch areas, such as doors and seat handles, must be sanitized before your next trip. Let's do all we can to keep ourselves and our visitors safe.
Here at St. Kitts Water Safaris, we know it has been a difficult time for everyone due to the worldwide COVID pandemic, but we saw it as an opportunity. We made the best of all the downtime that we have. We've been maintaining the jet skis weekly, constant servicing, and 2 of them are actually in the shop right now getting repainted. We've also been doing customer service training, hygiene training with the staff bi-weekly. And I think that we have been very keen on how to not be as interactive as we have been, because we are a very customer-forward company as it pertains to hugging, handshaking, picture taking, and that kind of stuff. So that has been the most difficult for us, but we've been very keen on making those necessary changes. We are ready as we can be for when all the tourists start coming back, and even more than the tourists, we are ready for the locals to start coming out from curfew, and we're just ready to have some fun.
My name is O'Neill Mulrain, and I have been giving nature tour for over 40 years. My passion in the rainforest is about plants and the wildlife. There are many different species of plants throughout the rainforest floor, which is like 35 to about 40 different species. And most of them can be used for homeopathic medicinal purposes, like the main apple plants can be used for loss of appetite. This is sage or lantana. They both can be used for tea purposes. In my hand, I'm holding silver trumpet. Scientific name, citrifolia. It's been recommended to make a bush tea, drop the height of the blood pressure, hypertension, cool it. The rainforest in St. Kitts has been protected and actually growing. This is the ideal time for you to explore and to have an adventure. Remember to keep the forest clean, just the way you meet it.
The St. Kitts and Nevis Chamber of Industry and Commerce would like to remind persons when patronizing businesses to abide by the following COVID-19 guidelines to protect employees, customers, and our community. Urge employers to check employees and customers with a non-contact head thermometer on arrival to a business place. It's mandatory that employees wear a face mask when at work and in the presence of others. no customers will be permitted to enter an establishment without a face mask. Encourage both employees and customers to wash their hands with soap and water or sanitize their hands with an alcohol-based hand sanitizer of at least 60% alcohol when entering a building, after interacting with customers, and throughout the day. Remember to maintain 6 feet physical and social distancing. Consider installing barriers such as sneeze guards or partitions in high traffic areas to limit close contact between employees and customers. Clean and disinfect highly touched surfaces such as doorknobs, telephones, cash registers, bathrooms, tables and countertops regularly throughout the day. Offer e-commerce services or curbside pickup options wherever possible. Encourage good hygiene practices among staff and customers by posting signs and posters in the business place. For more information and tips to consider, visit www.covid19.gov.kn.
My name is Carla Astafan and I have been a potter for over 20 years. I know it's a very difficult time for all of us in the industry, but this time has given me the opportunity to really rethink the whole operation. It's given me time to do other things, to do my pottery. I'm trying to stockpile on my work. To my brothers and sisters in the tourism industry, this is a time to look towards the future. This is a time to examine what you have been doing, see what new things you can do, how you can diversify, how you can innovate, plan ahead. So with proper planning, we will all be prosperous in the future.
My name is Omar Chin. I'm a small business owner by the name of Nightlife Barbecue and Grill. Location is right in front of the Silmax movie. I just thanking Social Security to come on board in this time like this now. You know, we having a COVID-19 relief fund supporting us. You know, it's a good thing to come on board. Like our Social Security just come across on board and just, you know, helping out in this time. You know, it's a very good thing. Asking all the people around who have small businesses can join Social Security. It's a very nice thing. The most people who travel from foreign to come in St. Kitts, come live in St. Kitts and do business in St. Kitts, join Social Security. Thank you, Social Security, to be with us in the time in need.
Visit our offices and sign up for our self-employed coverage. Beroe, Basseterre or Penny's Estate, Nevis.
Online payments now available for employers and the self-employed. Pay your monthly Social Security contributions via online banking at your convenience 24/7, 365. Safe, reliable, secured.
Social Security, because you deserve a future.
People are living healthier and longer lives. Families are growing from strength to strength. Things are good now, thanks to Social Security. But the reality is, in order for the fund to remain sustainable, we must begin the conversation about Social Security reform. It is our responsibility as a nation to make sure that Social Security continues to exist for generations to come. Social Security, because you deserve a future.
My name is Chef Larry Monrose of the Royal St. Kitts Hotel, and my healthy dish today is crushed avocado caprese on toast with poached eggs. I go to this healthy dish when I am short on time and I need something extremely healthy that will keep me throughout the day and is complete. I first start off by cutting and toasting my bread. I pre-season the bread with some olive oil, kosher salt and black pepper. I toast that for about 5 minutes at about 355 degrees in the oven. I go ahead and cut open my avocado, check how ripe it is, crush it with some more olive oil, lemon juice or lime juice, salt and pepper. Very simple. You don't want to overpower the avocado with any extra ingredients. I go ahead and cut up my mozzarella cheese, buffalo mozzarella, my tomatoes. It could be cherry tomatoes, heirloom tomatoes, or your regular tomatoes. I take out the bread from the oven. I smear the avocado, the crushed avocado. I use it like a spread or a paste, if you would. I heap up my items, my mozzarella cheese, my tomatoes. I put it on the bread. I go ahead and heat up my water, my poaching water with distilled vinegar, or you could use apple cider vinegar if you want to go extremely healthy. I season again with some salt, kosher salt. I stir the pot so you can have like a whirlpool effect going for the eggs. I crack a fresh egg in there. I poach it soft, poach for about 3-4 minutes. Then I remove it, shake off excess water from the egg, and then I just top it off on the toast. And that's my healthy dish. It's a very inexpensive, quick dish. You don't really need any special equipment. You just your regular fork, your knife, your bread knife, and your chopping board. So this is one reason I wanted to create this dish, or showcase this dish rather, to the world. I am a very healthy chef. I am heavily into fitness. I use the gym as a distressor, as a way to wind down from a busy day or a stressful day. And I take my health and fitness very seriously, because without health, there is no need for wealth. So this is my reason for eating healthy and remaining fit.
This health fair is a part of the 1-week celebration of the anniversary of the launch of SKN Moves. It's an initiative that came out from Caribbean Moves. The SKN Moves has 3 objectives. One, the aim is to encourage people within the Federation to be more physically active. The second objective of SKN Moves is that of making more healthy food choices. And the third objective of SKN Moves is to encourage everybody in the Federation to ascertain an annual health check, to make sure that you get a health checkup at least once per year.
Attention all drivers, I'm begging you to slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, down. Too many stop drivers on the road, man.
All right, welcome back to the program. 465-2555, 2555. We will now entertain your calls, so you can call anytime. In the meantime, while we wait for the calls, you are indicating something, Mr. Gilbert, but we have a call. So let's take our first call. Good morning. You're live? Hey.
Good morning.
Good morning, chap.
Okay. And good morning, Donnelly.
Good morning, and how are you?
I'm good. I know you're gooder than me, but I'm good. And good morning, Mr. Gilbert.
Morning, sir.
Lovely program as usual. Now, Mr. Gilbert, I have something to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
You come from a great cricketer family, Edgar Gilbert, the great.
That's correct.
Right. You remember when he knocked a 6 down in the prison? knock out the dumpling out of prisoner bowl and knock a prisoner in the eye with the dumpling?
I don't know nothing about
That's
that.
how great he was. And I know you're a great man. Now, you talk about the jobs on the street, and you all ask people to inspect the house before the work is being done there. Well, those who refuse to let you all come in to inspect the house, when they come and they complain after they refuse and say their house got in a crack, you nothing to do with that. You nothing to do with it because the whole world here you giving them advice and instruction what to do, what you are going to do before you perform your duty. So therefore, you are not responsible for if they show you any crack after that. And then to Donnelly, you will never see a kindergarten child driving a car yet, and blind people don't drive. People who drive in, they see the signs, but some of them say, oh man, me could park him, man. If Donnelly come and she see me, she only going to say, well, don't do it again. So therefore, I go on the corner and I go on 10 miles, I'm going to want to park up again. All because I get away from you. So, it ain't all the time we could say, well, okay, I'm going to use my discretion and give you a break. No, you got to let them know, partner, don't do it again by actions. Thank you for your time.
All right, man. Thank you for your call. Let's take another one. Hi, good morning. You're live.
Hi, good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir.
I'm calling another thing about the situation in Challenges, where you have a yellow line on the east side of the road, and everyone is parking on the northern side of the road. As a result, when you're coming from Sandy Point to Challenges, you're supposed to go on the right-hand side. Many times you cannot stay on the corner. Okay, we kind of have to kind of look at that and address it. Also, I find it rather strange that you put a yellow line in front of the daycare center in the same Challenges. Okay? Could you kind of review those policies, please? Thank you very much.
All right. Hi, good morning. You're live.
Good morning, your panelists.
Good morning.
Donnelly, I'm glad to hear you talk about this question, and I hope one of your colleagues are listening at the female office of WPC. She does not use no discretion and no common sense. One day she stopped a guy to give him a ticket in the gut there by Kui. And instead of she get the guy pulled over, she blocked up the whole traffic. I mean, that was uncalled for. People telling her to let the guy pull over so traffic would pass. And she said, oh, I'm the law. Listen to her, get on. I mean, you don't get on like that as a police officer. You need to speak to, I mean, you know, you can't teach common sense. And they can't bite the hustle and TDC. But at least, you know, they need to speak because, as I said, there's a lot of craziness. I mean, not wrong doing your work, but it's how you do your work. You understand? And like you say, the country is a small country, everybody got to work with everybody. You understand me? And Mr. Gilbert, you have a big hole up New Road up on the project up here. I've been complaining about that for months now. When the guy tell me that they didn't reach to that yet, and when they reach that, they'll deal with it. I mean, that's crazy. Vehicles dropping it and people tell again punch and stuff like that. So don't people look into it for me, please. It's from the family park coming up from New Road right up. Okay, thanks a lot.
All right, man. Thank you for your call. I'll let you all address those issues that was raised before we take any more. You want to start, Donnelly?
Yes. Caller number one, we want to thank you for the information, and we're always willing and ready to take instructions, criticisms, and information from persons who are calling. Thank you very much, caller number one. Caller number two, Challenges is in the District B area. That is the police station, the Old Police Station. However, traffic is traffic. And so, therefore, it is something that I am new to. I haven't heard this information before. And so I've taken notes. And so I would make it my business to drive down to Challenges and see what you're speaking about with the yellow line in respect to the daycare center, and to see to what you're speaking to about the where persons park on the seaside in Challenges. Caller number three, you spoke about this. You spoke about me speaking about discretion, and you're grateful for that. And I am happy that you were listening, and I am certain that there are other callers or other persons on the radio waves who are listening. Now, like you said, we cannot tell persons how to use their discretion. We just want persons to be just as we want the police officers to use our discretions, and so be it to the general public. As a police officer, we are supposed to be mindful that we are trying to have a policing, community policing, and so we are to work with each other. But in all fairness, Carla, some persons are just very disrespectful to the police, I must say. I am not saying that the officers are always correct, but discretion for me, as a police officer of 33 years, for me is a very, very big factor. I use my discretion a lot. I try my best to put myself in person's shoe. Sometimes I have to raise my voice. Sometimes I have to get a particular way because of how persons would operate. But I get that way if you put me in a position to get that way. I don't know. I will not say I know of the officer who you're speaking about. You did not call any names. But whoever the officer is, I hope he or she is listening, and I hope that they would make some adjustment to the way they would deal with persons. I think that's it when it comes to the callers.
Yeah, you the one will address to you, but before we let you address it, I think it was with New Road, right? We have a caller on hold. Okay. All right, good morning. Thanks for your patience. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
I got in an accident. This guy hit me from behind, right? So it affected the back light, the bumper light, I should say. Saturday night I coming home and this police from upstairs and stopped me. He said he was stopping, but I honestly didn't see him stopping me. So I begged him a chance. He said he gonna give me a ticket because the back ain't fixed. I was waiting on the insurance company. The part just came in last week, and I tried to explain all of that to him, and he decided to give me the ticket. He's supposed to use the discretion, and I begged him, and he decided to give me the ticket.
Discussion again, discussion.
Call unfortunate. It's indeed unfortunate. I will let Donnelly respond there, but thank you for your call.
Okay.
Before we take any more call, you said it earlier. You know, it's not that you don't understand, but it's the police officer in the position at
yes,
the time.
At the time.
And you can't go and override it because he's doing his
job.
Good morning, you're live.
Good morning. I'll jump to get on the program.
Yes, you're live. Go ahead. Junior.
Junior. Good
Yes,
morning,
yes.
Mr. Gilbert, and
Yes.
good morning, Donnelly. How are you?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Yeah, this voice was missing for a very, very long time. Welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, in relation to what you spoke about, in relation to discretion, it all comes down to persons and their own personality, because you only can be Donnelly. Discretion is needed in policing and in everything you do. And even me, sometimes I test the officers. They will stop me. Excuse me, sir, you have your license? And then sometimes I say, no, I don't have my license, just to see how they will react. And you see the difference between other officers compared to other officers. But we have to understand, police have to work with the general public, and it go both ways. Because some persons are very disrespectful. And some people have a way, they think that they're supposed to get away every time. You use your discretion once, they want you to use it twice, 3 times. So I don't want a person to take Donnelly's sweetness for weakness, bottom line. In relation to what Mr. Gilbert spoke about, he spoke about it earlier on a program, in relation to going to persons and asking them to look at the house. And I wouldn't want to believe Mr. Gilbert, as someone say, when he explained that you can understand. So I wouldn't want to believe going forward that persons are going to be so careless, reckless, and want the persons to, after the fact, to come and deal with it. It makes no sense. You have an opportunity, they're going to explain to you when they come around. They want to see how your house was before they actually start. And that is just plain and simple to me. So I just ask persons to work with the person, because they are doing a fantastic job on the road. They must have some issues now and again. And in relation to Donnelly, the Challengers area, I know exactly what the gentleman is speaking about. So it needs to be looked into, seriously. I create some problem, because I traverse that area on a regular basis. Thank you very much.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
All right. Now, before we get run over with the calls, I'm going to let you address the issue.
Okay, the person said that there's a hole in the New Road Park area, and I'm going to, when I leave here, I'm going to investigate and get it fixed for you as soon as possible, as soon as it's practicable. Construction town.
Oh, we lost that one. Good morning, you live.
Yeah, good morning, the King.
Hey, what's up, Dio?
I just here taking it quiet, man.
Nice, man.
And good morning to Officer Libon.
Good morning.
Good morning to the gentleman there for public work.
Good morning.
Mr. Gilbert.
Good morning.
It's a shame to see you every time you come on the radio, you have to speak about the Bell Road.
I feel the same way.
I think you ought to just continue giving them tickets for the ignorance. Because if you see something bad off the road for a one way, don't you think you have to turn to the left? Or unless we all don't have a sign stating, please turn left. And they'll understand they cannot go up. Coming down is from people who coming from east going to west. That's where the open come from.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But people have to learn to understand when you all put on rules and regulations, they have to govern and abide by it. And with some of the vehicles coming across Fort Thomas Road, I'd like you all please ask them, please take the time with the driving. Because the driving is on the highway. And to Mr. Gilbert, I heard you call out some numbers here for some companies thing, right? For the skeleton, cable, and for flood and all of those. Sometimes when you call them and explain to them about something happening to their thing, that doesn't come. Many times I be calling skeleton pertaining to the electrical poles across Fort Thomas Road. And all asking me about the number. So when I go and get the number, give them, they still ain't coming. So somebody is not doing the work. And they're leaving everything up to the police. And it cannot be. I like how you come in on the program now because the police and the public work supposed to be working hands in hand. And everybody is supposed to understand the law is the law and we have to abide by the law. You all have a pleasant morning.
Thank you very much.
You did too. You did too. Any response before we take any more calls?
Yes. Thank you very much, caller. You spoke to the Fort Thomas Road. That's an area where now we are trying to man, meaning we are trying to have a uniformed police officer man the area, patrol the area frequently now. The buses are still using it as a part of their bus route, which is not. We are still in the process of putting down the signage that says no motor omnibuses only. The signs are there already. The signs have been made already. We are still waiting on the person who is supposed to erect the signs, but they are there already. So at least part one of that is done. Mm-hmm. You spoke about the signage on the Bay Road. Persons, like you said, persons just need to respect the signs. This thing has been happening for too long for persons not to be aware of the signage. It's been happening too long, forever. And every Saturday morning is the same sad story from persons. I don't see it. I'm not aware. They get disrespectful to you. They operate, even elderly persons. Elderly persons would say, okay, you would figure that they're an elderly and you would say, okay, ma'am, I understand and I would give you a break this time. But before you get to that point, there's the curse words and you ask to see their driver's license, the pulling of the hand and the disrespectful thing. I hope you look in stripe, and these are the kind of things that you would get from persons. And so we're asking the general public, you see the signs, any sign, it doesn't matter where. Whether it's on the Bay Road, whether it's on Fort Thomas Road, whether it's on Wellington Road, wherever you see a sign, please to be respectful. If you're not familiar with the sign, if you're not sure, just do the opposite. If you're not sure, just do the opposite. If you see a sign you're not sure whether or not you're supposed to go through, do the opposite. Do what you know you think you're supposed to do, as opposed to come into the signs. Before we leave the program, I would like to touch on the we would have all realized that KFC has now opened their drive-through, mm-hmm. and it is causing some problems.
Oh boy!
Because, well, I can speak to last weekend where the traffic department had to man the area. What happened is that I don't know if traffic department was a part of the planning when they were planning that whole drive-through thing. Mm-hmm. No, what happened is that when vehicles are traveling from Bastille to Birdwalk, You have to be in that long line of vehicles that are waiting to turn into the drive-through. Now, vehicles coming from Birdwalk going into Bastia, they have the right of way because the traffic is flowing from their side of the road. And so, once a police officer is not there to man, or once somebody is not being courteous, to other road users, then it creates a problem. There is some work that has to be done from the public works department or the planning unit, or even the owners of the KFC.
Can't get that.
They probably have to do some work as well, because something has to be done. It is for now. During the week, it's not going to be an issue per se, because you don't find much persons would eat out during the week. But on Fridays, everybody want to treat themselves to a little KFC, and persons are happy for the new, something new coming into St. Kitts, and so persons just want to see what it is like, and so they want to try it. And so even the persons that are going to be waiting in the line long, they still want to see what it's all about.
The experience.
The experience. Thank you very much for that word. And so persons would wait. And it happened I worked there on Friday evening and on Saturday evening. Sunday evening was not that bad. But Friday evening was a task.
Wow.
It was a real task. Persons passing and the words they're flinging at you. They're upset with the traffic department. They're upset with this person. They're upset with that person. And so, because they're saying they have to wait, and it is a very long line.
Yes.
Very long line. And so there's something that has to be done when it comes to that. I don't know if Mr. Gilbert could touch on it for a little bit. If there's something for him to talk about, I don't know. If he's aware of the situation, the obstruction that is being caused, I am not sure.
To be honest with you, I heard that the KFC opened. I haven't been there as yet, but I'm going to visit the area, not just to look KFC, but to look at the traffic flow, and then we're going to look into it seriously.
Yes,
and try to address it
definitely,
as soon as possible.
Yes, some persons are saying why we didn't use the area like put the area like we did with Rams. When you go to Rams at camps,
as a middle lane,
right, a middle lane. But I don't know that is going to be done now, because since the KFC, there were some. The sidewalk had been built since that.
We're gonna look at it again
and see what they can do.
What we can do.
Officer Liebert Shiverton. Lord of mercy, Liebert Shiverton. I need to get that right.
Yes, Liebert. It's my mom first and my dad.
Okay.
Liebert is my mom. Shiverton is my dad.
Got you.
And so that's the order. Liebert, Shiverton, mommy, daddy.
Mommy, daddy.
Yes.
So mommy first.
Mommy first.
I got you.
Yes.
Before we wrap up, I have to do this live. I was thinking about doing it off here, but they're watching and listening right now.
Yes.
Ethel in the United States. She said, "Must tell you hello." She said I love Donnelly. Please tell her hello.
Hello to you, Ethel.
You have anything to add before we wrap up, sir?
What I have to add, I don't have anything to add. I just want to reiterate the point that we are working in the Bastia area, especially that middle part of Bastia, Wellington Road, Keyon Street. And motorists, if you don't have to use that corridor, you can use F.T. Williams Highway, you can use the Bay Road to get around that part of Bastia. If you have to come to that side of Bastia, like the students who might have to traverse there, we want you, the parents or the drivers, to actually move early, so that at least when you get the inconvenience, at least you compensate for that time.
All right. Well, thank you both for being here, and look forward to our next discussion.
Oh, yes.
Thank you so much.
Stay tuned. We have Skellig Power Talk up next, hopefully. Oh, and by the way, big thank you to all of our callers and our listeners and our viewers as well, who tune in every Wednesday. Thank you for your support.
Late than never, so why all the hurry? Speeding is the main cause of plenty mishaps.
In July, the cable proactively increased the download and upload speeds of its Flash and Bolt internet packages. And now, our customers are raving about getting more done. Work, all